Right. I'll talk about the end of the class with that one. Okay. Yesterday we have chance to create mapping, right? Successfully we created the mapping. If you go and see your document, let us say we are working with the design and execution process. In that one, we have chance to see how to create the mapping. Yesterday we have chance to import the source, okay, import the target and take that source and target into your work mapping and create one expression transformation and how to map this source to transformation and transformation to target. Those are all points you understand. Okay, with that we completed the mapping part, how to create the mapping part. This is what we completed the mapping part. Now once mapping is successfully completed, then we need to go for next thing that is called as mapping validation. Yesterday we did the mapping validation also, everything is working fine or not. This is what the example mapping what we did, right? Some EMP table is available, from there to we are going to the source qualifier to target table, some TEMP. In my case yesterday I introduced one more thing also here, that is called as what, sir? What is it, what I introduced? Expression transformation also I introduced here, one more thing, to concatenate first name and last name. I use that one. Now if you go for the next one, that is called as session task. What do you need to create? Session task you need to create. Session task is, one session is useful to run one mapping. What is it, sir? One session is useful to run one mapping. Server instructions to run the logic of one specific mapping. What is the advantage of the session task? It is a server instruction to run the logic of one specific mapping. So only one mapping you can run using one session. Using one session you can run one mapping you can run. If you want to run your corresponding mapping, you must create one session. You must create one session. Otherwise you cannot run the mapping. Now example, source and target data location specifications, memory allocations, optional mapping overrides, scheduling, processing and load instructions, everything we are going to do in the session task. Suppose if you observe here, I have here one tab, that tab is called as properties tab is available. From there we are going to do that one. We'll see these all things practically, where the source connections we are giving, target connections we are giving, memory allocations we are doing, those all things we'll see it. Now becomes a component of a workflow or worklet. So we'll come to understand what is the workflow down the line. Okay, it is a one small component workflow. Like yesterday we taken source, we taken target, we taken transformation, we taken. Source and target and transformation are the objects in the mapping or not, sir? If I open mapping transformation, mapping designer, let us say go to the Informatica client, PowerCenter client, then I have here PowerCenter designer. I am opening PowerCenter designer. I am opening PowerCenter designer. Just trying to open it. It is opening Informatica PowerCenter designer. Now once it is open, click on OK, and I want to connect to our repository. Our repository is what, sir? RRITEC002 connect. Then I need to provide your username and password. Username and password as administrator. Click on connect. We are able to connect. Let us open this one. I am opening. Once you open, you can notice here I have the mapping yesterday whatever we created. That is M_ODA service per employee. Mapping is nothing but combination of source information. Next what, sir? Target information. Next what, sir? Transformations. Yesterday we created, this is what the source we used as, and this is what the target we use. These are the two transformations whatever available. Correct or not? This is the source qualifier transformation, expression transformation. Next, target is available. Correct? Now what is my point is here, if you are saying here one point, the point is called as becomes a component of a workflow. That means tomorrow if you create the workflow, in the workflow this will come as a one object. This will come as a one object. Am I clear? Yeah, mapping. Okay, this comes as a one mapping, one object. If configured in the task developer, the session task is reusable. That means if you want to reuse the session task in multiple places, we can configure in the task developer. What is the meaning of this one? We come to understand down the line. What is the meaning is, let us say I am going to the designer. You can create the workflow by using what, sir? Workflow manager. You can create using workflow manager. I'm opening this workflow manager, then automatically we are getting one window. Automatically we are getting one window. Automatically we are getting one window. That window is, let us say, click on OK. This window is open. Now, if you go to the, let us say I have here workflow designer is available. This is what the workflow designer. In the workflow designer, I can create the one workflow if I want to create. Let us say I am creating one workflow as test. And if I want to create one task, let us go for the task developer. Then go for, sir, create what type of task you are creating? Session task. I can give whatever name I want. I can create it. I need to map the session with one mapping, right? So I am mapping with the m_ods, or I can go for the test as of now. Click on OK. Click on done. Now I have here one session is available. The session is the part of this workflow or not, sir? The session is part of this workflow or not? That's what my meaning here. That's what my meaning here. If you go and see, it becomes a component of a workflow. That means it is one member of the workflow. It is one member of the workflow. That's what I mean to tell. Okay, becomes a component in the workflow. Now, if you go for the next one, that is called as workflow structure. A workflow is a set of instructions for the Informatica server to perform data transformation and load. Combines the logic of session tasks, other types of tasks, and worklets. If you see here, we are trying to combine. This is called as what, sir? Our session task. This is called as our start task. These two things we are combining using one link. This all together we are doing within what, sir? Workflow we are doing. Within the workflow we are doing. This is called as start task. This is called as session task. These two things we are making together by using a link. This all work we are doing within the workflow. Within the workflow. That's what I given this point. The point is called as a workflow is a set of instructions for the Informatica server to perform data transformation and load. To perform data transformation and load. Right. Combines the logic of session tasks, other types of tasks, and worklets. Here if you say this is called as session task, other type of task is this I can say as start task. Down the line I may have some other tasks also. If I go for the workflow, if I want to create task, I can go for some other task, let us say email task. Whenever my job is, my loading is completed, I want to send an email to, whenever my loading is completed, I want to send an email to some user. I can go and I can create that one and I click on done. Once it is done, let us say I can connect like this. If I go for link task, first run this one, and once running is completed, send what, sir? Email. So I am able to come, this is called as what, sir? My email task. This is called as what, sir? Session task. This is called as what, sir? Start task. You understand my point? So that's what I mean to say. Combines the logic of session task, other types means what, sir? It may be email task today, tomorrow it may be some other task also. Other tasks and worklets. Worklet, what is a worklet? You come to understand down the line. This is what the worklet designer, from here we can create that one. Okay, as of now we'll go for next step. The simplest workflow is composed of a start task, a link, and other tasks. If I say very simple workflow means, what is the minimum will be there, sir? One start task should be there. Next what, sir? One session task should be there. Next what, sir? One link will be there. This is how it is available. Simple one. Sorry? This total is called as workflow. This total is called as workflow. Session is, this is the part is called as session. This part is called as session task. Correct. Correct. That's what you are seeing here, right? If you see the workflow, within the workflow, this workflow name is test. Within that one I have session task, email task, and start task. These all three things are available within the test only. Test is a workflow name. Test is a workflow name. Within the workflow name I have start task. Next what, sir? Session task. Next email task. Like this, a number of tasks may be there. Sorry? Mapping means this link you are saying. Mapping is available within the session. It is available. Within the session, mapping is available. Okay, we'll come to understand. We'll do one exercise means we'll come to understand. As of now, 3 points bit difficult to concentrate. Workflow monitor. The workflow monitor is the tool for monitoring workflows. The workflow monitor is a tool for monitoring workflows and tasks. Suppose you ran one workflow, it is succeeded or failed, or what is the status, you come to understand using workflow monitor. Workflow monitor available in two modes. One is called as Gantt chart, second is called as what's that? Task view. That means two ways of seeing. We can see that look and feel. Look and feel will be changed by change options. Okay. And workflow monitor, let us go for next. Workflow monitor. Okay. This is what the workflow monitor. If you go and see, here you can see the log. This is called as what's sir? Task view. This is called as Gantt chart. Gantt chart will looks like this. Task view looks like this. Okay. Now if people understand, we are going to understand how to create the hands-on. How to create what's sir? Hands-on 3 creating workflow. Hands-on 3 creating workflow. This is what we are trying to understand now. Let us say click on hands-on 3 creating workflow. Now, end of this one, what we are going to understand is this exercise in the lab familiarize the student with the process of creating a simple workflow. What are being, sir? A simple workflow with a start task and a session task. This workflow will essentially define a runtime version of the mapping created in the previous lab. Previously, we created one lab, right? Previous lab is what, sir? Handson 2. In Handson 2, we created one mapping. That mapping we are going to run using this workflow. Now I am going for this exercise will also familiarize the student with the process of starting and monitoring workflow. How to monitor this one? This is success or fail or what is the status? The status you can monitor by using this one. Now objective of this one is, end of this one we are going to understand these all things. If you go and see, after completing this lab, your student will be able to use a workflow manager. That means whatever I shown previously, this is what called as workflow designer is available, right? How to use this one? This is window is called as what, sir? Workflow manager. The whole window is called as workflow manager. In that one, workflow manager, how to utilize it, we come to understand it. Second, create new workflow. How to create the new workflow using workflow designer, we come to understand. Next, create and edit session task. How to create the session task, we come to understand. Next, link tasks within a workflow. How to link these two things, we come to understand. Next, validate a workflow. This is pass or fail, you come to understand by seeing the logs. Start workflow. How to start this workflow, we come to understand. And monitor the workflow. Use the workflow monitor to monitor workflow. These all things will be familiarized end of this one. Exercise 1 is creating what, sir? Workflow. Exercise 1 is creating workflow. Start the workflow manager. I will follow the ST's notes. Let us go for the close of this one. Now workflow manager is not available. What is the processor? Start, programs, Informatica, client, PowerCenter client, then PowerCenter workflow manager. Let us go for start, then all programs, then Informatica, then I have here client, PowerCenter client, then workflow manager. This is what the workflow manager. Workflow manager is useful to run your workflows or create workflows. These all things, sir. Let us go for workflow manager. Then one window is going to open shortly. That is called as workflow manager window. Yeah, it is open. Informatica PowerCenter workflow manager window. Click on OK. Now this is what called as what, sir? Workflow manager. Once you logged into any client, you need to connect what, sir? Your repository. Right click on this one. Click on connect. Now provide the password. I am providing the password. Open your folder. Let us say click on open. As of now, no workflows are available. Yes or no, sir? As of now, no workflows are available. Now I would like to create one workflow. If I want to create one workflow, you need to take help of the workflow designer. Let us observe this total window now. If you see the total window, this is called as menu bar. This is called as toolbar. Here we have some components are available. This is called as your work area. This is your logs. This is a repository navigator window. It is like a designer window only, right? Now I want to create one workflow. How to create the workflow is click on workflow designer. Then go to the workflows. Then I have option called as create. Click on create and provide the name whatever I suggested in the document. So this is what the click on OK, connect to the repository, we connected already. Then set the, this one I am not doing step 3, I will do later point of time. Now, if you go and see here on the general tab, creating what, sir? A new workflow, go to the select workflows, create, the create workflow dialog box appears. What is the workflow name I want to provide? WF underscore ODS underscore employee, same name I am providing here. We should not have any spaces, sir. If spaces are available, tool is not going to accept that one. Click on OK. Spaces are not allowed in a name. So that is the reason don't make any spaces at the end while you are doing the copy and paste. Sometimes spaces will come. Don't do that one. Click on OK. What happens, sir? Immediately we got one thing. This is called as start task. It is called as what, sir? Start task. That's what we observed here. Naming conventions here. If you see here, the naming convention is what, sir? Start task. It is called as start task. We created now start task. We created now start task. We created. Click on OK. The start task appears in the workflow designer workspace like this appearing. Save the repository. Let us go and try to save the repository. Go to the repository menu. Click on save. Or you can use from your keyboard Control plus S button also. This is a shortcut for it. Click on this. Then automatically it's saying as what, sir? Invalid. Why? Because in the workflow if I have only one thing. In the workflow if I have only start task is available, is not the one, right? I require what, sir? Another task also require. Okay. That's what it is invalid, is valid only. Exercise 2. Creating what, sir? Source and target database connections. Source and target database connections. Now if you see here, we want to go for the mapping, means your mapping is this for the source table, this for the target table, right? Your source table is available in one schema, your target table is available in another schema, right? To connect to this databases, I require some connections I require some database connections I require. How to create the database connections you need to understand. Let us go and create the connections. And it is a one-time activity only, sir. Today I created, tomorrow you need not create again. It is a one-time activity only. Okay. Now I want to create the connections. Go to the connections menu here. Then I have one option that is called as relational. Click on the relational. Then which type of database you want to create the connection, sir? Oracle database. As of now, I don't have any connections in our repository. In our repository ITEC 002, I don't have any connections. Now I want to create one new connection. Click on new. Now this is, I am giving the name as, what is your batch number, sir? ITEC 002. Let us say this is for the source, right? So I am giving the name as source. Now username, what is the username, sir? SDBU 002 is your username. Password is what, sir? RR capital, ITEC small 123. Connection string is ORCL is connection string. Click on OK. I created one connection for the source. Similarly, you need to create one connection for the target or not? Similarly, you need to create one connection for the target. Yes, sir, please tell me how to create. Click on new. Yes. Provide the name as RR ITEC. Any name you can provide, sir. For our understanding purpose, we are giving like this. Now, TDBU 002 next. RR capital, ITEC small 123 next. ORCL, we are providing everything. Sorry? Connection string? No, not case sensitive. Connection string is not case sensitive. Anything is not case sensitive except password. Remaining all are not case sensitive. Except password, remaining all are not case sensitive. This also I can write if I want in capital letters. I can write in capital letters. No issues. Click on OK. Now I created one connection for the source, one connection for the target. That's what I am suggesting in our notes also. Click on connections menu, click on relational, click on new, select Oracle, click on OK. Provide the name as some native underscore source I given. If you want to provide the same name, same naming conventions, means you can change this name also now, later point of time also. Click on edit. What is the name I given, sir, here? Native I given, right? As for the document only, if you want to put it, you can put the native underscore target. This is what, sir? Native underscore source. If you want to put the same names, if you want to follow, you can follow the same names also, native underscore source. I created native underscore source with the username is SDBU. When I was working SDB, I work, but whatever batch is what, sir? SDB 002, so I am giving the 002 accordingly. One is for the source is completed now. Next is what, sir? target connection also I created. With this I completed exercise 2, that is called as creating source and target connections. Exercise 3 is creating task and run the workflow. Now, in this exercise the student will create a session task. What type of task you are creating, sir? Email task or command task or session task? Session task we are trying to create it. Create a session task by going to this window. I will show you how to create it. Now if you want to create the session task, here we have the shortcut. The shortcut is, here it is available. This is the session task. You can click on that one, you can click here, automatic window will open. Suppose you don't want to use this shortcut, you can go to the tasks menu. There I have create option, click on create. We have a number of tasks are available. One is session task, command, decision, event wait, event rise, worklet, assignment, these all things are available. Now I want to create only one thing, that is called as session task. The session task name I want to provide as, this is what the name, s_m_ODS_employee, same name I am providing here. Click on create. And for this, what is the mapping you want to map, sir? What is the mapping you developed? m_ODS_employee is your mapping. So go and try to give that one, ODS_employee mapping. Click on done. Now I have here start task is available. Next is what, sir? Session task is available. Both the things are available here. Now, next one. Edit the session task properties. We need to edit the session task properties. How to edit it? Let us go for double click on the session task. Then double click on session task. Go for what, sir? Properties. In the properties, we have these all options are available. If you want to change the log file name anywhere, you can change the log file name also. Okay, or any other things you want to change it, you can change it. As of now, I am going for next one, that is called as mapping tab. In the mapping tab, I am able to see this is what, sir? SQ_employee. This SQ_employee is the one which you created here, right? In the mapping, whatever you created, that is appearing over there. Even the expression also, exp_ODS_employee, that is appearing here. Yes or no, sir? Even the target also ODS_employee, that is appearing here. Yes or no, sir? So whatever you created over there, those all things appearing. Why it is appearing here, sir? Because the session is pointed to, what is the mapping, sir? m_ODS_employee is pointed. m_ODS_employee is pointed. Now, with this table, the source qualifier table is this the one. With this table I want to communicate means, I want to select here database connection, right? What is the database connection, sir? It is properly showing this table is available SDB002 only. So it is properly mapped here, no issues. But whereas ODS_employee is available in the source, sir. ODS_employee is the target table, right? It is available where, sir? Is it available in SDB002? No. It is available where, sir? In other one, if you want to change this one, click on here, change to native target. Am I clear? This table is available in the target. That is the reason you can confirm here. It is pointing to TDBU. Am I clear this one? In our mapping, whatever source tables are available, target tables are available, will appear here. We need to select source corresponding to source connection, target corresponding to target connection. We need to select it. You got my point? And select the load type as normal. Here two modes are available. One is called as normal, second is called as bulk. When we need to go for normal is in our target table, if I have the key column, then we need to go for normal mode only. If in the target table, if I have the key column, then I need to go for what, sir? Normal mode only. Bulk mode we can go, if the target table has no key column, then you can go for what, sir? Bulk mode we can go. So in our case, our target table has key column is available or not, sir? Employee ID is key column or not? So I need to go for normal mode or bulk mode? Normal mode. If I have the key column, then I need to go for normal mode. So I am going for normal mode, that is good. And I am trying to click on OK as of now. That is what the mapping sort of properties I am trying to change here. I changed as a source to the native source. And I made this as a property as what, sir? Normal property I made. Next is what, sir? Link the workflow tasks. Here I have two tasks are available. This is called as start task. It is called as session task. That's what we created in the mapping. This is called as start task. This is called as session task. These two things we want to link by using link, right? How to link is we have your shortcut here, the available link, or you can go to the task. There I have the link task option is available. Then you can connect these two things like this. Once it is connected, then go to the repository menu, click on save. Observe now it is valid or not. Observe here, now it's saying as what, sir? It is valid. So we successfully completed how to create the link task also. Link the workflow and task, click on that one, link it. Next is what, sir? Validate the workflow, it is valid or not, you can observe from the bottom. So I'm able to observe that the workflow is valid, here I'm able to observe. Am I clear? Now, once workflow is also validated, next job is we need to do what, sir? Start the workflow. Select your start task always. Select your start task to start the workflow. Once you select a start task, here I have the shortcut that is called as start workflow. Or I can go to the workflows. There also I have what, sir? Start workflow. Or I can go for right click on this one. There I have what, sir? Start workflow from task. So these are the three ways are available how we can start our workflow. Whenever we click on the start workflow, immediately one window is going to open. That window is called as what, sir? Workflow monitor window is opening, and you can see here, this is available as running. Once this running is completed, come into the succeeded mode. Which one it is running, sir? Your workflow it is running, m_ods_employee it is running. wf_ods_employee is running. This is what, sir? Succeeded. This is what I shown as one is Gantt chart. Gantt chart is looks like this, task view looks like this. These are the two modes I shown previously in the PowerPoint, right? If you go for the workflow monitor is the tool for monitoring workflows and tasks. Choose between two views. One is Gantt chart view is available. Second is what, sir? Task view is available. From there you come to understand your workflow is running successfully or not. Am I clear? Now it is ran successfully. If it is ran successfully means in my target table, do I have some data or not, sir? It should be right. In my target table, I should have some data. If I want to understand the statistics, you can select your session task, then right click on this one, then go for what, sir? Get run properties. If I click on get run properties, here I got the run properties. These things are called as run properties. Here we have the source, you can see here, status is what, sir? Succeeded, and source success rows is how many, sir? From source we got 26, target success rows how many, sir? That means 26 rows whatever available, same 26 rows are loaded into the target. If you want more clear format, you can click on the source and target statistics. You can click on source and target statistics. This is what our source qualifier. From there, how many rows came, sir? 26. How many rows loaded into the sir? 26. Any rejected rows are there? No rejected rows are there. Those things you can observe it. And how much time it is ran. Any errors encountered means errors also will be declared here. As I don't have any errors, it's saying as what, sir? No errors encountered, it's showing. So that's how we can see the statistics. And really, if you want to see the data, you can go to the SQL developer. Am I explained SQL developer? What is SQL developer? Am I explained? Okay. What is SQL developer is? It is useful to run our SQL queries. It is very useful, sir. SQL developer is not an Informatica component. It is a database component. With the installation of Oracle 11G, automatically SQL developer will come into the picture. With the installation of SQL developer, with the installation of Oracle 11G, automatically SQL developer will come into the picture. Now, how to open the SQL developer first time means you can go for all programs. Then I have your Oracle, then application development, then I have your SQL developer. Now, yeah, in Oracle 10G, SQL developer will not come with the by default installation of Oracle 10G. In 11G only, this SQL developer will come by default installation. This main advantage is to run the SQL queries. That's it. Like it is SQL plus only. It is not the Informatica component, it is the database component. Now SQL developer is opening. Click on close. What is our target database, sir? What you created yesterday? TDBU002 you created, right? How to connect to that schema? If you want to connect to that one, click on new year, click on new year, then database connection. Then what is the connection name, sir? I am giving TDBU002. Username also what, sir? Password is what, sir? RRITEC123. And what is the database name? ORCL. You want to remember this password? Remember the password. Click on test. If you test it, it is saying as what, sir? That means this tool is able to connect to the database. Click on connect. Once you click on the connect, we are able to see right side TDBU002 we are able to see. Expand it. We are able to see what, sir? Tables. If we expand the tables, we have one of the table called as ODS_employee. In ODS_employee, if you want to see the data, click on this one. Data is available or not, sir? And see your first name, last name, we combined here and we are able to see this first name, last name. Correct or not? So that's how we loaded the source data into the target table. Once it is loaded, we need to validate all records are came or not. 26 records are came. Other tables doesn't have the data. We only created these all tables, right? We only create these all tables. These all tables one by one we are going to load it down the line. As of now, we loaded only one table, that is ODS_employee. TDB002 is our database. Yes or no, sir? We set up the target database. Okay, right. So if people are able to understand what is the meaning of this one. Yes, if you go for your document, start the workflow, exercise monitor the workflow. If you go to the year and observe your succeeded or not, then also observe your statistics, get run properties and observe the statistics. Okay, and validate this one. We are able to see it. Suppose if you face any problem, your workflow is not running. Let us say, to make one problem, what I will do is wantedly, I will go to the connections, relational connections. Your target is this one. Click on edit. What is your target database name, sir? But I am giving here ORCL 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 I am giving. It is the wrong database name or not? It is the wrong database name. I am clicking on OK. This wrong database name only mapped with the target table. Correct or not, sir? This wrong database name only mapped with the target table. If you see here, it is pointing towards, sir, ORCL 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is pointing. I am clicking on OK. Suppose if I am clicking on start workflow from task, is it going to run or it is going to throw the error? That's what I want to understand. One more time I ran it. It is saying as running. You need to understand how to debug the things. That is the reason we are going for the wrong things. It's saying as what, sir? Failed. How to debug it? You can debug this one. Right click on this one. Get what, sir? Session log. If I click on session log, it is opening one thing that is called as _m_ODS_employee session log. And here, so many lines are available, right? If you want to find out exactly error means, go to the find and type here error. Enter. Something you got. Let us go for next find. Find next. We are seeing here, it's saying as what, sir? Error connection to what, sir? Database. So the session TDBU002, what username is available? TDBU002, database driver error, function name logon, could not resolve the connect identifier specified, and connection string is what, sir? ORCL 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is a problematic guy. Because of this one, it is not able to connect it. That means down the line, if you face any problem, we need to depend on the log to debug it. Yes or no, sir? By depending on the log, we can debug that one. That's what I mean to tell. Can you revert it? How to revert, sir? Go to the workflow manager, connections, relational. This one I want to revert it. Click on edit. I'm changing this as ORCL. Click on OK. Click on close. Now if I run this one, it is going to run perfectly. Exactly. ORCL is a TNS name. Okay, right. Okay, this is successfully completed. If you go and see this Handson, we are able to complete that successfully, right, sir? Okay, we are moving on to the next one that is called as Handson 4 plot file filter. Okay, we'll go for that one later point of time. As of now, any questions in this creation of workflow, sir? Let me summarize what we did here. If you go for your Handsons here carefully, Go for here. First exercise, what we did, sir? We imported source and target. Second exercise, what we did, sir? We created mapping. Third exercise, what we did, sir? Creating workflow. These three Handsons, whatever available, throughout our all the Informatica. Throughout our all the Informatica, these three things won't change, sir. Wherever you go, it is available. Maybe my transformations may be changing. Today I use expression transformation. Tomorrow you may need to use filter transformation. Day after tomorrow you may need to use lookup transformation. Those things will be changes, but the sequence of steps is what, sir? Common. The sequence of steps is common. Now we should get more clarity on the design and execution process. This is what the design and execution process slide is available. I hope you got now more clarity on what we are doing in this design and execution process. Correct or not, sir? All the steps we got now clarity or not? We know how to create the source definitions. Yes or no, sir? We know how to create the target definitions. Correct or not? We know how to create the mapping with the transformations. We created with the source qualifier and expression transformation. We know how to create the session task. We know how to create the workflow with task component. We know how to run the workflow and verify the results also. Yes or no? These are the 6 steps which are main important steps. Throughout Informatica, we are going to do this one. If you understand clearly the 6 steps, I can say you know 20 to 30% of the Informatica. If you understand these 6 steps, I can say you know 20 to 30% of the Informatica. That much of important steps is all. Am I clear? Yes, okay. Now tomorrow we'll discuss remaining things. As of now, try to practice till here.